Welcome to Click for IB Biology. Our topic is ecological stability and change. There's a blank version of this presentation in PDF form down in the description that you can access and annotate with your own notes. There's a quiz with 10 questions and answers, and you can use that to check your understanding of the concepts covered in this presentation. And so to ecological stability. Ecological stability features two components. One is resistance and the other being resilience. Resistance are features of the community of organisms that prevent disruption from actually changing the ecosystem, the ecological structure. These have no doubt been achieved and attained over long periods of time, and indeed often reflect millions of years of ecological stability, as can be seen in equatorial rainforests and desert habitats. The second feature of stability is resilience. So resilience is the capacity to recover from disruption. And again, those environments such as deserts and equatorial rainforests tend to have the greater ability to actually demonstrate resilience and to repair the ecosystem when there has been disruption. Other ecosystems, other biomes in the world are less resistant and less resilient, typically those of the tundra. Indeed, the tundra biome is not particularly old in geological terms and has only existed since the Ice Age. This isn't just the only reason for its instability. That would also be attributable to the weather conditions in that zone and the relatively low incidence of solar radiation. Stability is composed of two parts: resistance and resilience. When we look at the characteristics of stability, it's worthwhile breaking this down into 4 points of analysis. The first being the energy input into that biome or ecosystem, and in particular the amount of solar radiation of light intensity which is available to the producers of that particular biome or ecosystem. And of course, at the equatorial regions, then the intensity of solar radiation is high, whereas at the poles it's low. As a consequence, this means that net primary production is high at the equator but low at the poles. The consequence of that is that the food chains and food webs associated with equatorial region forests are considerably longer. The food chains are longer, the food webs are more complex, and also retain this powers of resistance and resilience when it comes to change. The polar tundra biomes have less intense sunshine. As a consequence, net primary production is low, food chains are short, food webs are simple and very vulnerable to disruption, particularly by abiotic factors. The high temperatures of the equatorial regions also accelerate nutrient recycling. The action of bacteria and fungi in breaking down the dead and decaying organisms within tropical rainforests is extremely rapid. So rapid that if one were to actually sample the soil, the nutrient levels in the soil are low because they are quickly absorbed into the high rates of primary production in the forest. The intense sunshine and the higher levels of net primary production, meaning that the food chains are long in tropical forests, and indeed the webs are complex, food webs are complex, means that we observe greater genetic diversity, and in itself this presents some aspects of the resilience that the tropical forests have in comparison to the less productive tundra regions. Of course, the tundra regions are also subject to severe climatic changes in comparison to the equatorial forests. The temperatures vary considerably, along with other abiotic factors of environmental change, such as wind and precipitation. The tropical rainforests have the intense sunshine, near constant temperatures, and primary production can remain high at all times of the year. So these are aspects of stability that we can use to evaluate the characteristics of any particular biome and its resistance and its resilience to environmental disruption. Even though tropical rainforests are characteristically have high resistance and resilience, this is not sufficiently resilient in order to, or indeed resistant, to be able to maintain production in the face of severe deforestation. The image shows the Amazon deforestation, which reached its peak of deforestation in around about 2004 and has declined since then. But the loss of forest in the Amazon basin has been considerable, as indeed is replicated all over the world's equatorial regions. The deforestation that we can see imaged here has consequences for that particular habitat, in which humidity is reduced, cooling is reduced, airflow, which is reduced also, and rainfall results in much rainfall, much water running off and not being available to plant growth anyway. The forest canopy plays a primary role in retaining these particular features and creating the abiotic factors which are characteristic of high net primary productivity, including, of course, the intense sunshine and the fixing of light and carbon dioxide. So the stability, resistance, and resilience of some of the world's major biomes have been in existence for many millions of years, such as the tropical forests. Other biomes, such as the tundra, are less ancient and reflect the geological times since the glaciers receded. Although resistance can be observed in biomes, in summary, they may not be sufficient to be able to resist in changes caused by man with severe deforestation, urbanization, as shown in this image. The next video in this series on stability and change is now appearing here. With a chance to subscribe to the channel, please, that would be much appreciated. And the playlist is here so that you can check out all the videos that you can look at in this particular chapter of the work.